Greetings, my friends. Today we're going to learn how to communicate properly with your dragon guardian. So the day finally arrives. Okay, so first you need to understand what you are up against like what you are going to face as an entity. The dragon guardian, mine here, is called Amray, and she loves to hang out in trees and fly over it and go over roofs and play with snow. Anyway, that's my dragon guardian, and I'm very sorry because I'm a bit nervous today. A lot nervous. So I asked my dragon for permission, and she just plainly answered that she's okay with that. So okay, so what you're up against too, it's not against, but you know what I mean, is a spirit, basically, but not just a spirit. It's a living, breathing being that is in another dimension, so probably fifth dimension or a higher plane. And they use what we call a very powerful astral projection that them dragon can do. It's not the usual common way for astral projection. It's something more powerful, and it can affect the elements around them, like in our dimension. So it's their best way to communicate with us, along with your bond and connection that I was talking to you about in the last video. In the last video, we talked about how the bond, as it strengthens, as it becomes stronger, you will hear more and more your dragon in telepathy or even in the elements. So that's what I'm going to teach you today, is how, what to expect and how it feels like, how it happens. So basically, I just go outside, and the first thing I do is say hello, being very respectful and all. So as you can see, there's not really wind anywhere. Okay, but in this tree, and I'll show you in another video how it looks like when she's fully awake. The way you expect things to happen is you're going to start to see a response. It can be trees, it can be a river, it can be fire, elements in general. Your dragon's gonna use one or another kind of element, but in my case it's trees. And the trees, well, they go a bit cray-cray even when there is no wind at all. And my dragon, what she loves to use the most to communicate with me or just signal her presence is these wind chimes right here. And yes, I know we have squirrels, they're so cute. Look at this vase. And birds, yeah, they're jealous. They want to be caught on tape as well. Where is it? Anyway, so yeah. She uses the wind chimes, which she makes move. She moves them with her spirit body, or sometimes even just with her mind. Dragons have very strong powers, mostly connected to elements, and they can do pretty much what they want. They can shapeshift. They can not control, but take over the mind of animals temporarily. They can change sizes and stuff. They can do whatever they want. So this is easy for her, moving the trees and stuff like that. So what happens here is, hello, I'm Ray. There's too much noise today to hear these responses, but usually you can hear the wind in your ears. It's kind of like small gushes of winds, like many little gushes of wind. And it comes with a weird feeling, like a different feeling than yours. You have to recognize these feelings when they come in. That's the better way. That's the best way for me to speak with your dragon. Eventually, when there's going to be less and less noise and your bond's going to be stronger, you're going to be able to understand these gushes of wind. Sometimes they will sound like human voice even, but it takes time. And your dragon has to trust you and everything, so you're going to go into a lot of tests before that, and you're going to grow trust and a bond that is so strong that anything's going to be possible at this point, as long as you know how to manifest. Okay, so the dragon is right here. And when I ask a question, sometimes she answers like that with the wind chimes, or she answers with the branches. She can use the branches to say hi and no. Sometimes when she's angry, she pushes the tree a little more, like it's more violent and rushed, and you feel the emotions. That's the thing. When you communicate with a dragon, the biggest thing you will notice is the change in the energy, the change in the air, in the wind, the emotions, especially the emotions and intentions. The thing is, be careful because dragons sometimes want to hide their real feelings and they will try to distract you and push you away from the feelings. They will try to hide. You know, it's a protective system for them. They will even sometimes try to look angry when they're absolutely not. Because dragons are very secretive and reserved mostly, and they hide their feelings to protect themselves. So my dragon sometimes can look angry, but she's not, and the contrary can be also true. Sometimes she pretends she's not even there, just because she knows that I'm kind of busy or it's not the right time, so she moves later. Example, today, I thought she was not there because the trees were not moving. It's dumb of me, because as soon as my boyfriend left for work, she started to manifest a lot in the trees, and I know she was there, so she's there all the time. She doesn't even go back in the dragon realm, not as much as she used to, so that's a great news. That means that as the bond grows stronger, um, you will have less and less periods of time to wait before your dragon comes back, and eventually it's gonna be like more of a permanent thing. So the communication and everything's gonna come easier. Communication's gonna be more natural. Everything's gonna be more natural with time and a lot easier. Give yourself time. I know it kind of sucks because right now you can just like try to guess what it says. Sometimes it's not easy, and when you cannot understand the gushes of wind that sounds like human voices sometimes without, for example, a cell phone, then you'll need something else to understand what they say. So you have to build a code with them. Like you say, "Oh, can you give me a sign?" Example that you understand what I mean, and then she's going to answer with the wind chime, right? I'm right. Do you think you could do that for me, please? Just like, if you want, of course. If could you like move the wind chimes for me, please? Oh, true. You said no magic. Okay. That's the thing. She has boundaries as well. So this is it. What I was talking about. Okay, so you cannot hear the sounds she makes. Like you cannot understand and distinguish the words into the gush winds yet. So you gotta use tricks like, oh, move your branches from left to right or up down to say yes or no, or use the example the wind chimes, or use even the animals to send you a sign. Sometimes clouds can shape into dragons. In winter example, they can use when the snow is soft, they can use the snow and make it fly like a blizzard in the form of the shape of a snake. There's so much they can do. Actually, if there's fire nearby, they're gonna try to mess up with it. And you know what the coolest thing is? unless this is unless this is scary to you, I'm sorry if you're easily scared, but uh, the strength of a dragon is our powerful astral projection, which makes it like more or less a ghost that can interact with objects, things, animals, and everything around. And that can get scary, my friend. It's a way for them to communicate their presence as well. Sometimes they will, like poltergeist, they will do ghost stuff. They will make you believe that you're surrounded by ghosts, but it's just gonna be her or him, the dragon. Like, so many crazy things happening. At night, I can hear branches squeaking. Even animals are not supposed to be there, and I hear weird sounds. And I hear knocking. I hear a lot of sounds that I'm not used to hear usually. And I know this house pretty well, and there's gonna be doors opening, lights flashing, and crazy paranormal stuff happening, you will notice the ghost communication is a way they will try if they don't have any other choice for now. So the other way you could communicate with your dragon is way later, and I'm not there yet, so you're gonna have to stay tuned to this channel as long as I'm learning stuff, and I will tell you everything, the fucking truth, okay? The truth, nothing like bullshit free. And you need to understand, you don't even need magic to do what I'm doing. Dragons are more like ghosts, and they can do whatever the hell they want, you know? They can go back and forth, they can sleep here, they can interact with objects, animals, and elements, and this is crazy. They're so powerful and superior, but they still consider us as equals. So that's kind of incredible and generous of them. They're magnificent creatures. If you don't know how to speak to your dragon, like, you can know that they are noble beasts. They want respect, and they do love compliments a lot. They are super. They love it, right? I love giving them to them because dragons are awesome and they deserve each compliment that I give them. Especially my beautiful Amrita. She's the most beautifulest. Okay, no. So yeah, the ghost. It feels like having a huge intimidating ghost in your backyard all the time, but it's everywhere and it's gonna follow you even if you move out. So you better learn how to communicate with your dragon instead of pushing her away or him away, because it will follow you until the end. It's kind of sad because it's gonna live lonely all of its life. Well, it's supposed to be with you and bonding with you, but you like, don't reject the dragon. It's pointless. It's gonna come back sooner or later. Okay? Also, don't use the dragons for magic, especially when you don't need it or don't feel like it. You can just manifest, use a manifest technique, which is not magic. Everything is energy, okay? Just keep that in mind. You are energy. You can do whatever you want on this planet. This dimension, this reality is yours. I've told about this many times in other videos, but you exist on different planes at the same time, past, present, and future. You're experiencing as a soul so many things at the moment. And these dragons, they come from another dimension. And they want to be with you. They're there since you're like born. So it's pointless to try to chase them away. They have a soul pact with you. It's kind of sad and cruel, if you know what I mean. Dragons love to communicate, eventually try to manifest themselves in the 3D when they trust you enough, but it's way too soon for me. So I cannot say more. I think I've pretty much told everything that I knew about dragon communication. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. At first, the dragon's gonna be back and forth, and it's gonna need time to trust and bond with you. And during that time, the dragon will be sometimes gone for about 2 days or so at each time, maybe more. I don't know. It's really different for every dragon, I presume. I don't know how much time they can stay here at first without you being connected to them and having the gate open all the time. The gate takes time to open. That's why you feel so much draconic at first, because the dragon needs you to be able to use the same dragon power, like to open the gate and connect. It's kind of complicated, but it just takes time to build the bond and to keep the dragon gate open. So basically, when the dragon is not there in your realm in the 3D, it will be somewhere else, but still living and breathing like a real living creature. It's alive, and it can still talk with you in your head as telepathy. I will insist on this because it's gonna be important to know how to distinguish your own thoughts from the dragons. And I'm gonna teach you just that. Dragon thoughts. Dragon thoughts are just like your thoughts, actually. They can have a specific voice that is assigned to their gender, because they're gonna try to find a way to translate their energy into words you can understand in your head. So imagination, you can pick. He is or she is going to browse in your head. You know, the dragon can access all of your thoughts, all of your emotions, everything, because you're bounded, like a soul bounded, and you can feel each other. A bit like Voldemort and Harry Potter, in the same kind of concept, except it's not a curse, of course. So the dragon, when he or she speaks, they will take your voice, but it's a different voice than yours. And depending on the sex or their gender, they will try to speak in that manner. And you can sometimes hear a response with the wind, and then you hear the thought just after. You know, it's like a thought that comes from nowhere. It just pops in your head, and it comes naturally. So this voice, it feels like it doesn't come from you. Like, it comes with feelings. These feelings are the most important key to understand when the feelings are you, like when the thoughts are yours and when they're not. Because if it's yours, you're gonna feel the feelings that come with it. You can base your own communication on that. If it's not your feelings, then you know that the thought that just came in your head is probably the dragon. But be careful. Sometimes I do have weird, dark thoughts that come in my brain and just pass on. But I just, recognize them as human thoughts. Like, because all humans, we think, we are not like higher. We're just like violent, primitive creatures with primitive instincts, and sometimes we think dark and violent things or mean things, but this is just a human nature. And you can take this thought and say, I reject this thought, this is not who I am. You cannot control what thoughts come into your mind, but you can push away and do not identify to these thoughts. You know what I mean? Say, oh, it's just a human thought, it's just passing by, I do not mean it. And you just let it go. You can do that with the dragon thoughts as well. But you can, when you learn to recognize your own voice, your own thoughts in your head, your own feelings, and your own intentions, and you use the elements, you use objects, tricks, whatever your dragon wants to offer you, and you can use your logic and deduction with all of these signs to... What the fuck, there's someone. You can use all of this signs. That was scary. And try to communicate with your dragon that way. You use all of these clues together, but the most important is to bond, to make a true friendship with the dragon, and everything else gonna come naturally. And someday it's either gonna show up, if ever, or it's gonna maybe try to manifest as a ghost talking to you. So there are many ways a dragon might be comfortable to communicate with you, and every dragon and person are different, so you might have a total different adventure, but these are the basics of dragon communication. Thank you a lot, my friends, and have a wonderful weekend, because this day is beautiful. Dragon magic is awesome, but it's not like dragon magic. Anyway, have a good weekend. Bye, Amray. Never forget to say bye and be polite and nice to your dragon. Always respect it and its boundaries. If you want to do videos, you gotta ask them. Yeah, I just heard a gush of wind from behind me. Dragons often do wind stuff in your ears, and they're closed, so most of the time they're behind you. It just makes sense because they're so huge, most of them anyway, and they're just behind you. And they like whisper things in your ears from behind, so you can feel the gush of wind rushing on your back. It's kind of cool. So with time, you're going to notice all of these little details and understand that these are your dragons and not just natural wind, because you can distinguish the normal wind from when your dragon is there. You're going to notice, and the day that the dragon is not there, you will say, oh, okay, this is how normal wind looks like. But when it's gonna be the dragon's presence, you're gonna feel the difference when it's there. So I think that's about everything I covered. Be careful, be always kind and respectful, and remember, if the dragon asks anything weird from you, like making pacts, giving blood, giving offerings, and crazy shit like that. Do not, because dragons are pure, okay? They will never ask these kind of praising bullshit thingies. They will not ask you to connect with gods and creatures that you do not wish to connect with. It's not gonna ask of you anything that makes you uncomfortable. Just remember to trust you and yourself, and your dragon is your best teacher, and we all going through different adventures, yet so similar. Have a good weekend for real this time, my friends. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked it. Please, it's really helping.